This tutorial is to show how to add an inline splice to SPT-1 socket wire or lamp cord. I'll be showing splices with both male and female Gilbert plugs. This is not a tutorial on which scenarios to use each type of inline splice. I'll cover that in another video. Always use safe electrical practices, and never work on live wires, and never make male-to-male extension cords. The tools I'm using are 6-inch diagonal cutters and a Min socket wrench. Before I get started, I want to note that SPT-1 socket wire consists of two strands of wire that are side by side and connected with a plastic sheathing. One side has little ridges or ribs, and the other side is smooth. Keeping track of this is important. The caps on both the male and female plugs are identical in shape. Don't be afraid if they get mixed up. When looking at the male and female plugs, both have openings at one end of the socket wire. When you flip them over, you'll see that both ends are sealed. However, the female end has little perforations or tabs that make it easier to open. The male side does not. Let's start with the female plug. The first thing I'm going to do is take my diagonal cutters and snip the female plug where it's perforated. Just by giving it a little pull, I've opened up the side that was sealed. You can see an open channel running all the way through the plug now. Now I'm going to take the cap and snip off the tab at the end. When I slide it across the socket wire, I don't want it to damage the protective sheathing of the wire. Lining up the rib side of my socket wire with the side of the plug that has the words ribbed, I'm going to lay the socket wire across the top of the plug and push it down. Now I'll take the cap and slide it onto the end of the plug and start pushing. This is where I like to use the Min socket wrench. If you go to pinch this closed with the handle of your cutters or a pair of channel locks, it's easy to damage the sheathing of your socket wire if you're not careful. You'll feel the cap click into place once it's on all the way. And that's how you do an inline female splice. Now let's do the male side. The process with the cap is the same. Snip off the tab. Creating a window on the male plug just requires 2 quick cuts down the side and a little twist to pull the bottom off. Be careful when making your cuts because it's easy to split the plastic. And just like that, you've got that window and channel that runs from one side of the plug to the other. Male plugs don't have the word ribbed written on them. They do, however, have a side with engraved words just like the female plug does. In my experience, most major brands of SPT-1 Gilbert plugs have the wording oriented the same way. In fact, I haven't come across anything different. So what I'm going to do is lay the rib side of my socket wire across the side of the plug that has the engraved wording. It's simple, but if you're unsure, check with the manufacturer of your Gilbert plugs. And that's how you do an inline male splice.